And then other amenities. The mayor, Castro, and the city manager have put a priority in economic development on getting companies to fill some of the downtown office space that is vacant and that needs to upgrade it from Class B to Class A. So those are all the kinds of things I think you'd do, you know, to shore up the core.
Mayor Cockrell, is it more a mayor's job to provide services and infrastructure where people want to go, or is it more a mayor's job to encourage people to go where the services and the infrastructure already are?
Well, you've got to do both, of course, because first of all, where the services are is a place, you know, that you've already made the city investment, and so trying to get the people to continue to go there, kind of keep reinventing the area, attractions, amenities, and so forth, is a great way to go. And it just keeps the city vibrant and don't have any holes in the middle of the donut. But also you have to see where people are now moving as the city is expanding and growing. And they have to have the amenities there, the basic services there that citizens expect. It's also a fine line to determine how quickly to proceed on annexation. This is an area that that San Antonio is among the fortunate cities that still have annexation abilities, because many of the cities that have been legends in the past, cities that have always been industrial or economic leaders, are completely hemmed in. They can't expand. And so they're really, in many cases, shrinking. They're losing population because the population has moved out beyond their boundaries. And so it's been fortunate for San Antonio that we have been able to contain our growth within our city limits. So those are decisions that have to be balanced with how do you pay for the services, how do you balance that with the need to continue to grow.
Let me ask another kind of chicken and egg question. Which comes first? The airport. This spring, the City Council and Mr. Mayor, you got the briefing on this 2050 airport plan. And how important is it to get more gates, to get more direct service? Or is that something that you just have to sit back and wait for it to follow other business leads?
It is important for San Antonio to have an increasing number of nonstop flights from and to the San Antonio International Airport, and they work together. The more investment that you get here, the more folks that you get that have a leisure or business travel need, then the easier the sell is to the airlines to make an investment of a nonstop flight. But on the other hand, the more of those nonstop flights that you have, the more attractive the city becomes as companies do their evaluation of potential sites to relocate to or to invest in, you know, X hundred number of jobs. What we've tried to do is to set an airport master plan that affords considerable growth over the next 40 years. And we're trying to be as aggressive as possible at increasing the number of nonstop flights. We've used incentives over the years to help with the marketing of certain routes, you know, give airlines these incentives. We've also had personal visits. Just about a month ago, the city manager and I visited with the CEO of Southwest Airlines and his team over in Dallas. So we're trying to do what we can to build that up because we need to. It's good for business and it's a point of convenience for San Antonians.
Mayor Cisneros, is that airport growing fast enough to drive economic, San Antonio's economy? And are you worried about the way it is landlocked in terms of its future growth?
Another bit of proof that I have no ambition to run for any office is my belief, my conviction, that in due course we will have to find another site for an airport. Now, in the 2020 process, maybe this subject will come up. People are already talking as far out as 2050 and trying to make do with that site. But I would argue that San Antonio, which is a metro of about 2 million or so, right, county and beyond, right, and then you got the corridor of New Braunfels and San Marcos, and Austin, with a metro of about 1.7 million, would function as a metro of almost 5 million, well, 4 million people. 4 million people. And a whole lot of other economic opportunities would be possible in a metro of 4 million. And the unifying factor could be a joint use airport. Now that might be a stretch because we're 70 miles apart, and that would be 75 miles apart, and that would be somewhere at the 35-mile mark, which is on the outside of what people might want to do. But looking far down the road, when people can get there on a rapid rail system or a monorail system or something, I mean, we're talking futuristic now. I think we're not going to be able to develop our full economic potential with the landlocked facility we have today. That's my personal opinion. It's a question of how the runways are laid out. They're limited. You cannot put a second runway because there isn't enough space, and you have the neighborhoods that are now encroaching from nearby.
Right.
And without a second runway, we're going to have issues. When General McDermott was alive and heading the Economic Development Foundation, he talked about a joint use facility with Randolph that has 2 runways. And this might even be, I mean, you have to start thinking about the land up somewhere around New Braunfels or so. But I think for the future of the city and the region, that conversation needs to be had. Now, that's just my thoughts.
I think in the interim, though, I would have to say that Mayor Castro and his team and his predecessor really have done very well in making do and expanding to the best ability we have with the present site.
Oh, it is very convenient.
And I think really it's just been very good. And I guess for all of us who live close, it's so convenient to be able to get there instead of driving the 35 miles or so to another airport. But
and then there's the other issue. If that land was available for development, can you imagine land on 410, in square in what is now the center of the metro area almost,
Right.
Available for redevelopment, as Austin has done with their old Mueller Airport, which is the home of a new hospital and University of Texas research facilities and homes, and that's a lot of real estate there in a very valuable place.
All right, we're thinking outside the box here. We have one more segment. We'll come back for a few more minutes with the mayors on Gang of Four. It's 11:21 on KTSA. Here's Liz.
KTSA streaming online.
Here we go.
Brought to you by Connecticut Quality Water Systems.
11:28 on News Talk 550 KTSA. A couple more minutes with the Gang of Four. All mayors today. Mayor Castro, Mayor Cockrell, Mayor Cisneros. Before we let you go for the Easter weekend, I want to ask you all the same question, see how you will answer it. It's often mentioned that San Antonio has been recession-proof or recession-resistant. A lot of us who moved here from another place, unlike native San Antonians, we feel like we made the best move we could ever have made. We feel like we stumbled upon a well-kept secret. What is the secret to San Antonio? What is the secret to its growth, to its recession resistance? What's the best thing about this city? And you can't say it's one of your own accomplishments when you were mayor. You're not allowed to use that answer. So, Mayor Cockrell, we'll start with you. What's the secret?
Well, I think there are several secrets. I think for a while we had a very strong dependence on the military, but then we began diversifying, and we, I think, keep sort of reinventing ourselves. I think Mayor Cisneros, for example, was a great leader in bringing in the biotech industry, and that was a great push to our economy. And so we've had others that looked at different sectors. We've worked on economic development. Mayor Castro is doing a great job in many areas of trying to work with industry moving in, and also giving attention to our quality of life issues that attract the public. So I think it's our continued growth and our ability to reach out and sort of seek diversity.
Yeah. Mayor Cisneros, what's the secret?
Well, I think it's less and less of a secret. I think it's we're becoming known now across the country as a very progressive and growth-oriented place. Mayor Cockrell is right. The diversity of our economic base, with a tilt now towards some higher-paying jobs and opportunities in that base. Secondly, the fact that we have a very good workforce, good people, conservative work ethic across ethnic groups, known as good workers. And then thirdly, the ethnic diversity that makes it a really kind of rich and special culture and a family-oriented place. Put all that together, it's a pretty good place to live.
Yeah, Mayor Castro, not just another southwestern city, not having a lot of the same problems other cities have had, whether it's with integrating races or cultures, not having a lot of the economic struggles, the real agony we see in some American cities. What's the secret?
Yeah, I think it's all of those things that have been mentioned, and the two folks on to either side of me, Mayor Cockrell and Mayor Cisneros, have been great leaders for many decades now in helping bring about our success. I would say fundamentally it's the character of this community. It is that you still have, in a city of 1.3 million people, a sense of community, a sense of neighborliness that eludes a lot of other big cities. And so there's a fundamental sense of community and work ethic that helps San Antonio through thick and thin, and we've seen that over these last couple of years of this recession. Everything else is built upon that character of the community.
Not to mention all the money we've saved only paying you $20 a week for all these years. All right, well look, we thank the mayors. Thank you all for coming in today. You've said a lot. You've been honest. You've admitted to proposing things that would make you unpopular. We can't ask for more. That's what we want. That we can't ask for more than that. Mayor Cockrell, thank you so much for everything you've done and for coming in here today. We appreciate you.
Oh, it's been fun. Been interesting.
And Mayor Cisneros, it's good to have you on the show.
Jack, keep up the good work at KTSA.
All right, well, same to you. And Mayor Castro, this was a great idea. Good job in inspiring us to put this together, so thank you.
Thank you for having us.
And I know we'll be talking to you again in the near future. It's 11:32 on News Talk 550 KTSA, Jack Riccardi Show.